Hello everyone, this is the third lecture of acids and bases, and in this lecture we are going to discuss Arrhenius and Bronsted-Lowry concept of acids and bases. Now, as we know the definition of acids and bases, but how did we get the definition of acids and bases? So first it was given by Arrhenius and then it was given by Bronsted-Lowry. So why there are two different definitions? Actually there are more than two definitions of acids and bases. So let's see why there are more than two definitions of acids and bases. So the first is Arrhenius concept of acids and bases, means how did the Arrhenius defined acids and bases. So according to Arrhenius, acids are the substances which have the tendency to lose H plus ion when they are dissolved in their aqueous solution. So for example, so you can say acids, they lose H plus ions. For example, acids HCl. So HCl will give H plus and Cl minus ion. H2SO4. H2SO4 will give H plus and sulfate ion. Similarly HNO3. So all these are acids because when they are dissolved in water they will give H plus ion. And similarly, so remember the definition of Arrhenius. According to Arrhenius, acids are the substances which lose H plus ion when they are dissolved in water. Similarly, bases are the substances which lose OH minus ions when they are dissolved in their aqueous solution. They lose OH minus ions in their aqueous solution. So for example, NaOH, KOH, CaOH whole twice. So all these substances are bases. Now the question is, when the definition was given by Arrhenius, definition of acids and bases was given by Arrhenius, why are we studying Bronsted-Lowry concept of acids and bases? There was a huge drawback in the Arrhenius concepts of acids and bases. Let's see, for example, some compounds, means according to Arrhenius, the only compounds which can lose H plus ion, they are acids, and the compounds which lose OH minus ions are bases. But there are so many compounds like CO2, SO2. So these compounds, SO3s, these compounds cannot lose H plus ion or OH minus ion because they don't have H plus or OH minus ion to lose. So, but still they are categorized as acids. They behave as acids, but they do not lose the H plus ion. So according to Arrhenius concept, these substances are not acids. Similarly, there are so many compounds like NH3, which is a base. Similarly, other compounds are also there which act as bases, like all oxides of metals, they are bases, but again they do not lose the OH minus ion because they don't have OH minus ion to lose. So that is the major drawback of Arrhenius concept of acids and bases. So to overcome these drawbacks, to overcome these limitations, we have the Bronsted-Lowry concept. Now what does the Bronsted-Lowry concept says about acids and bases? So according to Bronsted-Lowry, acids are the substances which have the tendency to lose proton. Tendency to lose proton. Proton means H plus ion. H plus ion is proton. So the substances which have the tendency to lose proton. So you can say acids are proton donor. Acids are proton donor. And similarly, bases are the substances which have the tendency to gain H plus ion, means proton, gain the proton. So they are proton acceptor. So the definition of acids is same, but the definition of bases is separate. That is the substances which have the tendency to gain H plus ion. So these are proton acceptor and they will be called bases. And acids are the substances which have the tendency to lose proton. Proton means H plus ion, same definition. But the definition of bases is different. So you can say like HCl. HCl has a tendency to lose H plus ion. So it is an acid. Similarly, NH3, that is ammonia. So ammonia has the tendency to lose H plus ion. It will form NH 4 plus. So it is base because it gains the proton, H plus ion. It loses the H plus ion, so it is acid. It gains the H plus ion, it is base. So this is the Bronsted-Lowry concept of acids and bases. Now you can see some compounds are there like water. So you can see water on dissociation, it will give H plus and OH minus ion. So you can see water has the tendency to lose H plus ion, but again water also gains the H plus ion, that is proton. Water also gains the proton to form H3O plus ion. This is hydronium ion. This is called hydronium ion, and this is called hydroxyl ion. So you can see here that water can lose the proton as well as gain the proton. Water has the both tendencies to lose the proton or gain the proton. So these substances which behave like both acids and bases are called amphoteric. So you have three types of compounds: acids, which have the tendency to lose the protons; bases, which have the tendency to gain the proton; and then we have amphoteric substances. Amphoteric, which have the both tendencies. They can lose the proton as well as they can gain the proton. So hope you have understood the concept of acids and bases. Arrhenius concept. Arrhenius concept of acids is the substances which lose the H plus ion in their aqueous solution. They are called Arrhenius concept. Arrhenius concept is in aqueous solution only. So they lose H plus ion in aqueous solution. Bases lose H plus OH minus ion in aqueous solution. Similarly, Bronsted-Lowry concept, limitation that these compounds cannot be categorized as acids and bases. Now, Bronsted-Lowry concept, acids have the tendency to lose proton, bases have the tendency to gain proton. Remember, proton is H plus ion. Then there are amphoteric substances which have both the tendency to lose the proton as well as tendency to gain the proton. Now again, Bronsted-Lowry concept of acids and bases have the same problem that most of the compounds are there which cannot be categorized as acids and bases, like carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, sulfur trioxide. These compound oxides of most of the metals which are generally basic, but they cannot. These two concepts cannot categorize these substances as acids and bases actually. So this is the limitation of Bronsted-Lowry concept, and it is cleared, it is explained with the help of one more topic, one more concept, that is Lewis concept. However, it is not in your syllabus, so we are not going to discuss Lewis concept. You will study that in higher classes. So here we have only two concepts, Arrhenius concept and Bronsted-Lowry concept. So hope you have understood these two concepts of acids and bases. There are two definitions of acids and bases on the basis of two different concepts. So if you have any problem related to these two topics, please ask me in the comments. Thank you very much.